Hi, this is Gary Acosta, co-founder and CEO of NAREP. I know you've all been seeing on social media and through email the exciting convention that we have scheduled for September. This one is truly going to be a milestone for our organization and for the Latino community. Some of you have heard of Latitude and all of the programming that's coming with that, movie stars, CEOs, just a world-class experience. But our mission at NAREP is to advance homeownership and to empower the Latino community. And you don't do that just with inspiration. You do that with skills. I'm a product of the mortgage banking industry, and I know how important that is in the process of facilitating homeownership for anybody in this country, but particularly for the Latino community. So Elevate Mortgage Summit is something that we started 2 years ago, and we have continued that process and are excited to bring that back to the National Convention. And this year, I have relied on a dear friend by the name of Renee Rodriguez to assist us in putting together just the best program possible, focusing on the skill sets that are really the breakthrough skill sets, the difference between successful and extremely successful individuals in our industry. So let me pause there, introduce Renee, and let him say a few words to you about what he has planned for Latitude this year, or Elevate Mortgage Summit.
Well, the good news is they're both together at the same time, which is super exciting. No, Gary, thank you very much. Thank you, and I can't say it enough, to thank you, to your community, and to the entire NAREP family and everything you guys are doing. It has been, for me, life-changing to just get to know you guys, to be able to now be part of an organization that is part of a mission that is affecting so many people, and with what you're doing with Latitude, and I mean, it's mind-blowing. So it's exciting and humbling and just energizing to be a part of it. I think when it comes to Elevate Mortgage Summit, you challenged me, and we both kind of, when we first talked about this, we said, how do we do, because there's so many events out there. People don't need another event. It's right. How do we go out there and create an experience for people that truly is transformational? And you know, the typical event when we get into this is, you know, we bring a bunch of speakers in and you get a little bit of information and everybody walks right with a great attitude of saying, well, if at least you get one nugget out of this, it'll be worth it. And I love the fact that we said that's not enough. We want to do something different. And we've got a very focused time period right there. You know, I think Latitude starts, and then during the break, I think we've got, you know, that 5 to 6 hour window to really drive home a powerful experience. And what makes this year so different is that we're saying, instead of let's just jam pack a bunch of content, let's choose one theme, one skill set, and let's go deep with that. Let's make sure that everybody that comes to this walks away different, thinking differently, acting differently, and with a skill set that they can immediately apply. And to me, that fits right in line with what the mission of NAREP is, the Hispanic Wealth Project, and all of those different pieces. Because if we can help people do that, a new skill set, we've advanced it. And that skill set, or that theme that we've chosen, is around presentation and influence.
Presentation.
Presentation and influence. And so how do we take the message that we have and best present it to the audience that we need to have here?
Renee, let me interrupt you for a second, because that's a really great point. I appreciate all the comments that you made. First of all, you have become, you know, just a critical component in NAREP's mission. And I appreciate all the work that you've done with our chapters along the way. When you talk about presentation, what are you talking about in particular? Are you talking about presentations in front of large crowds? Are you talking about presentation in terms of one-on-one? Or are we talking about everything?
All the above. And so here's where that comes from for me is, I remember growing up and having an idea, or wanting to tell a joke, or wanting to, you know, influence a group of friends. And I would watch other people tell these jokes, and people would laugh, and I'd watch other people tell these stories, and everybody would pay attention, and I'd watch other people sell a product, and everybody would buy. And then I found myself doing the same thing, trying to tell the same jokes, and nobody would laugh, or nobody would listen, and nobody would be influenced by this. And it was painful growing up. It was painful in a sense. It was frustrating, because you'd watch mediocre ideas rise to the top.
Yep.
And you'd watch people that really had great ideas that didn't know how to communicate those ideas, that would go nowhere. And I spent my entire life saying, okay, how do I best communicate? Because I believe sales is about a communication of value, but how do I best communicate an idea?
So it's not just what you're communicating, because that's, you know, what we usually see at events, right?
Right.
make sure and say these things, and these are the magic words and so forth. But it's how you communicate, right? So the whole package. Am I getting that?
Absolutely. And so when we think about, a lot of people know what to communicate, and all of the things that NowRep offers and a lot of these other folks offer are such powerful pieces of information. But if you don't have the voice to say it, if you don't have the body language to carry it correctly, the facial expressions, the sequencing and the timing, all the things that are the secrets.
The things that create rapport and trust.
Yes, 100%. And so with those skills, we said, what if we said, instead of covering a whole range of things, let's focus on one. And not only that, we're not going to just speak to you for these 5 to 6 hours. We're going to bring in a group of panel of all-star experts, people that
all
are
right. So perfect. Walk me through the day real quickly.
Okay. So imagine getting there. You've got a group of peers. We're all there. Everyone's excited. We open up with not only just excitement and a context around the event, but a simple methodology, simple, about just how to introduce yourself and how to answer the simple question. So what do you do? That question is at the crux of whether you get labeled in the pack of everyone else, or if you have that little piece of differentiation to say, maybe
first impressions. First impressions.
And how many times do you get to do that?
Yep, one time.
You got one. So imagine we do that. Then we turn to the audience, and everybody, then we've got a group session plan. It's more of a workshop where they now go in small groups and they present that same question, the same methodology, put it into practice. We come back. We bring up our next all-star speaker that's not there to give you a cookie cutter presentation. They're there and they've been asked to share one secret weapon, one of their arsenals, one of the things that they carry in their belt about how they've been really successful about presenting. This isn't somebody that's conceptually talking. This is that person that says, this is how I do it, and I want you to learn one thing. They go up there for 20 minutes, and guess what the audience does? They practice again, implementing that skill set. They go through it.
So this is not just going to be a series of presentations. You're going to get everybody to actively participate in exercises. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I mean,
you just don't see that typically.
No, it's not happening enough. And especially, it's just not happening enough, because we get these ideas and we want to implement them, but we don't have the time, and life takes over and clients take over. So they come back and they practice. We bring our second keynote up there that's going to give them their secret weapon. And now they're going to go back and take that secret weapon, apply it again in that same group, get the feedback, come back, and then we have our third secret weapon. And that person is not only going to provide a tool, but they're going to provide specific content. Now, here's why that's so important. There's content available. It's everywhere. Google it. Go to your website. Go to anywhere. It's just ever ready everywhere. But do I have a vehicle to transmit that content to someone? That's what we've been creating in the first 2 to 3 practice times. And then we're going to give you, 5 to 6 options of either infographics. If you're focused on the Hispanic market, maybe some infographics that talk about why, this is important. Or if you're looking at answering the question of why now is the time to buy, which by far is one of the most important questions I think people need to be able to answer. Then they practice with what they learned on how to implement this certain presentation style. Then here's where it gets exciting. We choose a couple, 2 to 3 people from the audience that the audience selects of saying, this person really did an amazing job. We bring them on stage. We've got our all-star panel of coaches and judges and speakers, and we get the chance to critique them on stage live. So that and tell you, one of the best ways to learn, Gary, is by watching and being able to critique someone else, take an idea, practice it, fail it, and fix it. Because that's how we learn. And so this is
going to be very applied, very hands-on, very interactive with the crowd. We're going to do that with 600 people. How are we going to pull that one off?
That's always the magic question. That's why we have so many facilitators. We've got Fannie Mae has got some great people. And here's what I love about this too, is instead of taking our amazing sponsors, the people that make this possible, we said, you know what, give us some of your
by the way, for this event is Freddie Mac and Radian.
Yep. And so we and to be at that level, these people are practitioners of great communication skills. So we said, instead of having somebody just talk about their products and putting people to sleep, I'm not saying their products put people to sleep, but it's just, that's.
No, I get it. Right. Sure. People, aren't there to get sold, they're there to learn.
And so we said, give us a couple of your best, and we want them to help facilitate. We want them to help practice, because you don't get to that level without being really good practitioner, not theorist, practitioner. So we're going to get them. They're going to be involved. We've got, from Jerry Asensio to Leo Pareja. We've got Kristen Mazzarelli. We've got, I mean, just a whole group of people that are going to be fantastic as a part of this event. That I'm just super excited.
So that sounds terrific, right? And it's a little different than what we've done in the past. And I think we've had good ones in the past, but they were basically what you described. You know, so we had a series of presentations, and everybody gives their own version of what it takes to be successful, and that's pretty cool. But it's kind of what you get everywhere else. Instead, you're saying these people, instead of them kind of giving their sort of story, are going to be focusing on one particular element of the presentation itself, or that presentation skill set. And they're going to focus on that, and they're going to get people interactive and participating in that. And it's going to be a busy, you know, exciting, robust, active day for all the attendees.
Yeah, come ready to roll your sleeves up. That's for sure.
Yeah, so that sounds exciting, Renee. This is going to be great. Like I said before, you know, we can talk about lofty things. We can talk about changing the narrative about the Latino community in America, which is our macro goal as an organization and with respect to this conference. But you do that, you know, by empowering individuals to be great at what they do. You know, yesterday I was speaking to one of our chapters, and they asked me, you know, what can I do to support the mission of the organization? And my response is, there's a lot of things you can do, but the most important thing that you can do to support NAHREP and our mission is to be successful in your own business.
Yes.
That's what this is all about.
I love that. And I get chills when you talk about changing the narrative, because think about that. It's the brand is a collective narrative, right? And the narrative is what you say. It's what you present. It's your narrative is what you wear. It's how you wear it. It's how you walk. It's how you talk. And if we walk around saying the narrative is maybe we're victims, or if we have a narrative that we grew up with an oppressed mindset, that's what our narrative is. If we can change that, if we can equip people to have the skill set to change and create a new narrative, oh man, that changes not only today's society, but futures and legacies that aren't even here yet.
That's when you're part of a movement. So Renee, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for what you're doing for Elevate and for NAHREP. I can't wait to the event in September, and I look forward to seeing you and the team when we get there.
Thank you, Gary. And I guess how do we sign up? Is it Elevate Mortgage Summit, or just go to nahrep.org under events? Yes. So you can go to nahrep.org/convention, and all of it will be there for them. Wonderful. Gary, it is such an honor and such a pleasure, and I cannot wait to see you guys there soon. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Likewise. Thank you. Take care.